Give me your best Coach Pitino story from back in the day. You got to give me something good.
Are we? Is this a rated? Is
No,
this
no. They have a.
Yeah,
you
say that now.
That's why.
That's why.
That's officer called you for.
That's
He was
why.
like, don't you start talking about
Go. Man, I'm going to give you a story that I think is super beautiful for me about our run to the national championship. So, in the semifinals, we played UMass. UMass was the number 1 team in the country all year long. We started number 1. They beat us in the second game of the season. Marcus Camby, that great backcourt, just so tough.
Was that the start of the Rick Pitino, John Calipari?
Yeah, it was in there, right? And so what was pretty incredible was we win the semifinal game, and this is it, man. Coach has been in Kentucky for 6, 7, 8 years. Kentucky hasn't won a national championship in 20 years. This was our destiny. This is what we were supposed to do. If we don't win this thing, we are absolute failures. And it's all come to this massive crescendo. And so Coach P, you guys might not know this, but he sometimes can get relatively animated, right?
No, come on,
and
man.
so we go to film the next morning, okay? And so we have 2 days to prep. We go to breakfast the next morning, and I kid you not, one of the most startling things that happened was I was ready for Coach to give us one of his famous impassioned speeches about we're here, the finals, whatever. And all he did is we finished up breakfast, he just leaned back in his chair and he's like, Obi, put in the tape. There was no speech, no nothing. And everything was status quo going into that championship game. Like, he was the most calm he probably ever was all year long. And I thought it was a stroke of genius on his part. And it was kind of probably fighting all the human impulses, and it stuck with me forever. I thought it was brilliant. And he's got so many brilliant moments like that.
Was it that just trying to take the stress off of playing?
Yeah, and he was just like, hey, this is nothing new. He just normalized the whole experience. There's nothing normal about getting ready to play in the championship game in New York, in the Meadowlands, right? There's nothing, but he just normalized it. So let me tell you what we're used to. Walter McCarty, I'm about to throw you under the bus. Okay? Walter McCarty, one of my great friends, dear friends at at Kentucky. So we're playing athletes in action in a preseason game. This is what we lived under with Coach B. I don't know, it's like 28-4 in the first 8 minutes. And then they go on a 4-0 run to make it 28-8, okay? Coach calls a timeout. We come over to the bench. He is losing his mind. He's so angry, and the last thing he says is he's like, you, and then a bunch of words, guys are gonna pay for this tomorrow, okay? Now, just so you know how it felt, like, we get up from the huddle, and Walter McCarty, big, towering, 6'9", super talented, super athletic guy, turns white as a ghost, and he looks at me, almost tears in his eyes, and he's like, we have to fix this. It was sheer terror. He put fear in our hearts every day. And so for him to respond that way after the semifinal win, going to the championship, was just like, man, it was like there was no way we were going to lose. It's like, yep, this is just, we're ready. He's a brilliant coach.
All right, last one I got for you, and then we'll let you go. You donated enough of your time here. You're a Kentucky alum. I know you have a special, a soft spot for that program in your heart.
Yes.
You're now the BYU head coach.
Yep.
How do you balance having two programs in the same sport where, I mean, look, you love Kentucky. You're now the coach at BYU.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
Oh, I love Kentucky.
What happens if they play each other?
You don't understand. I love Kentucky. Like, in my soul, I love Coach P, and I love Kentucky. And I'm trying to get a game with St. John's so we can beat them. And I would love to play Kentucky because I want to beat them. That doesn't mean I don't love them. I love them like crazy. I love them in my soul. But right now, BYU's trying to win, man. We're trying to win. So there's no conflict for me at all.
Shouldn't be.
Listen, man. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, you guys are
Thank
awesome.
you for jumping on.
I love you guys.
Return that call, man.
I love everything you guys do, man. It's so cool. Okay.